What's up, scholars? I'm Rob from Genius. We're here at Racer's Edge with Mike and Chester from Linkin Park. We're gonna race a little go-kart.
All right, good. So let's put Rob in front of us so we can beat him. And here we go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I got you, Rob. Come on, Rob. Come on, Rob. Going wide, Rob. Last one, last one.
Yo, it's hot as balls in these helmets, man. So I lost. I know that, man.
We both did. Speedy Gonzalez over here.
It's not.
You've done this before.
It's not fair to just bring you in having not tried this before.
I actually did a high performance driving course. There was other dudes who actually raced for a living in my class, and I smoked them. And I was like, I'm a race car driver. Right. Yes!
Wait.
And my wife was like, no way.
No way.
It starts with one thing. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try.
You know, when you guys came out, the first album, Hybrid Theory, was really that. It was like this amalgamation, this bringing together of different genres and different musical styles into one thing. What were some of the things that inspired you early on and where you drew your inspiration from?
Since the beginning of the band, like, we all listen to different types of music. Myself, I grew up playing piano from when I was like 5, and then I transitioned eventually to like making beats and rapping over them.
I loved rock music. That was what everybody was doing, so that's what we did. But I was also like super into like the Smiths and the Cure, Depeche Mode, and all that kind of stuff. So I've been singing my whole life. I think I came out screaming. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, ah! I was born with like a broken, I was so big, my nose was broken, so I think that's where I developed my screaming skills.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I found some tapes at one point, I think I was about 13 years old. I was like, ooh, what are these? And I put them in the tape player, and it was me singing Foreigner songs. So I must have been like 2 years old or whatever, but I was singing like Hot Blooded. I think that was probably the original inspiration for me to sing. Rapping like NWA verses and Rob Bass was one of my favorites.
I wanna rock right now. I'm Rob Bass and I came to get down. I'm not internationally known.
I feel like now we're in this digital playlist era where it's just putting together a bunch of songs that you like.
Yeah.
And that's what music is. Almost in a genreless era, the boundaries are definitely more broken down now.
Yep.
And I think you guys fought for that early.
When our first album came out, there was a trend to mix rap and rock. We didn't go, oh, this is gonna get us signed. It was just like, no, this is the music we're making.
Clive motherfucking Davis came and sat down with us and told us, this is a new thing. What you guys are doing is great. We already signed a band that sounds kind of like that is in this thing. It's uncharted territory. Like, we don't really know where to put it and where to market it, and we don't want to try to figure that out with two things that are similar.
It's
at
like
the same time.
It's like a mixed family. You weren't rock enough for the rock kids. You weren't hip hop enough for the hip hop kids. And so they were just like, so you're sitting in the middle, sorry.
Except the rock kids and the hip hop kids loved it to the tune of 10 million records sold. Plus, I don't know how many times you got went diamond.
When we did it, it was, for me, I always wanted it to feel like I'm not trespassing.
I think even in that world, like I would sing however I felt, whatever I was pulling from, I kind of sound like that singer. It wasn't until I got into Linkin Park that like Mike was like, stop singing like this guy, or stop singing like that guy, like be you. And I'm like, ah, you know?
And he said at one point, like, I don't know what that means. And I said, I don't either, so let's figure it out. Because just like any of us, like you have to find your voice. So it's the biggest record on the planet that year. Britney Spears came out that year. I thought she had I just assumed, because she was such a pop phenomenon, and bigger than her stuff, like whatever. And followed it up with Meteora. That also just #1 everywhere. And we stopped after that record and looked at each other and went, oh my God, our entire lives just changed.
Can you guys get a little louder? Now, what the hell are you waiting for? After me, there should be no more. So for one last time, people make some noise.
We worked with Don Gilmore on the first 2 records. He's a great producer, and he pushed us in ways that I don't think anybody else could have. But the one underlying thing that I think that a lot of people don't know, Mike was in there like every step along the way, like in there, like pushing the envelope on things, and like.
Because Don didn't understand hip hop at all.
Well,
like,
yeah, so he
knew rock really well.
Yeah, so Mike was in there, like kind of co-producing that record, and then the reason things sound the way they sound is because of this guy primarily, and Brad. The only producer we could imagine ourselves that in our wildest dreams to work with is like Rick Rubin.
We reached out to Rick and said, we'd like you to produce our next record. This is our 3rd album.
As long as it doesn't sound like the last 2 records.
We want it to be a big departure from the first album and second album. And we want to take risks and make it really different, and we don't want it to be that sound at all. And he said, great. So that's the answer I was hoping to hear from you guys. Like, let's talk about it. And so we did the next 3 albums with Rick.
He's made all the records we all love the most. Rick's style also, and his vibe and the way he works, he's very like open, creative kind of guy.
Oh, I was in there maybe 10 times more than that even than Rick, because he would only show up once every 1 or 2 weeks. The next album that came after that, we didn't work with Rick.
You guys have a new album coming, One More Light.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things that I wanted to explore with you here at Genius is your process for this album.
We actually flipped it backwards. We started with the concept, we started with the lyrics, and came in each day and said, what do you want to write about? The stuff that's coming out is not stylistic choices, it's not genre choices. A lot of fans, when they hear the talk about co-writers and whatever, for some people, yeah, that changes the sound of the music. Like you write with somebody who does, you know, Caribbean beats mixed with EDM, and they come in. You write with, I don't know, DJ Snake comes in and he does DJ Snake on your track. That is what's going to happen. But if you write with Justin Parker, or you write with Egg White, or you write with Julia, like they come in, and what I would do is I would just work with one of them, and I would write a song, and we would write words and melodies and piano, and then I will take that and start to make it sound like something.
Like Linkin Park.
Like Linkin Park.
Yeah. Me and Mike could go out and he could play a keyboard and I could sing a cappella, and you get the song.
I can't escape the gravity. I'm holding on. Why is everything so heavy?
I have a scary question for you guys, and I want to get into breaking down the actual title, One More Light.
Yeah.
There's a finality to it, right? I'm like, are they trying to tell us something, or is this the last light?
The last album.
We're giving up, guys.
Lucky number 7. So it's the first time we've named an album after a song, and it was because we lost a friend. The woman that was a friend of ours and has worked on our albums for a long time passed away. The hook is, who cares if one more light goes out in a sky of a million stars? And the punchline is, I do.
The lyrics are an example of what life is, which is a series of events that are challenging. The perspective was, you know, we're going to turn these ordeals into adventures, and it just turned out that like One More Light, even though it was a difficult song and kind of the most emotionally heavy song, also had the most uplifting title, in my opinion, you know, the cake doesn't really rely on how good the frosting is. You know what I'm saying? And I still like cupcakes that have decent cupcake, but really good frosting. You take the frosting off, like I want that yummy, moist, tasty cupcake that could last, that stands on its own, and I feel like that's what we have with this record.
Linkin Park, really good cake. What was
That's a tasty cupcake.
That's one tasty cupcake. I appreciate your time and your energy.